Welcome back to Fire Emblem Engage. Last time we finished up 2 more paralogs, we only have Marth's and Aaliyah's to go. But now it's time to get back onto the main story. Except first, something that I almost forgot, but I just reminded myself of at the last second. I need to get Lapis's maximum bond with Roy.
Hey, Roy. I wanted to thank you for lending me your strength all the time. So,
Why so formal? No need to thank me. I'm just doing what needs to be done. Wait, what's that you've got there?
I wanted to commemorate our time battling as a team, so I made a doll of you. Wanna hold it?
And so, Lapis invents the Roy amiibo in this universe. Kind of like how the Lucina amiibo was actually invented in the Hot Spring DLC in Fire Emblem Awakening. But there is one other thing that I want to do here, and that is, finally, skill inheritance on Morvia and Vale. So, the reason why I censored them and didn't use them in the last 2 paralogs is, those paralogs are technically doable before these 2 join, so people could be Google searching for footage of those before getting to this point. So yeah, now I don't need to worry about any of that. I have 2,500 SP on both Morvia and Vale. Okay, I don't have a lot of bond fragments to spend, but this will at least get Vale speed +2 access.
I am Vale, the Dragon Princess.
You look as if you have a lot on your mind, Vale. Please let me know if I can be of help.
Lynn, a lot on your mind is the understatement of the year when talking to Vale.
I don't know if I'm worthy of your kindness, Lynn. But thank you for the offer.
Whereas, I also kind of want to get with Corrin for Draconic Hex. But I think, firstly, I want Cantor on Morvia.
I, Mavier, shall be your opponent. You accept me, although I once served the Fell Dragon. Thank you for such unearned respect.
Your shame has no value in this world. I choose to fight alongside you because you are worthy.
Yeah, expect almost as much self-deprecation as Alcaris when doing bond conversations with these 2. I would also like Staff Mastery from Micaiah on you.
I shall atone for using your power to commit evil deeds. I ask only that you save Lady Vale.
Yes, Chapter 19 was definitely evil deeds.
I suspect she would wish for someone other than herself to be saved.
Interesting. Then I suppose I can take you up a little bit with Corrin, even though this won't give you enough for what I actually want.
You were amazing on the battlefield today. But, do you mind hanging out a while longer?
Of course, Vale, I'd love to. We so rarely get a chance to relax and chat with one another.
This is literally your first chance doing that. So I won't be able to go the full extent of the skill inheritance I wanted, but I can at least take speed +2. I almost called that speed taker +2. And you get Cantor and Staff Mastery 1. And something I forgot to show last time, Aaliyah has their own engrave. For the cost of only -1 to might, you get an all-round boost to everything else, and quite significant in a lot of areas. So yeah, definitely a good engraving, though it's only available very late. Actually gives the same crit bonus as Lynn for more might. And okay, this is a loss of 1 build and a bit of magic and defense, but it will let him fly, and also raise his dex, speed, and resistance a bit. I think I am going to go for this. I've never seen how he looks in this class either. I do very much like his default outfit though. Yeah, that looks a little weird. Him without the bulky armor and shoulder pads just looks kind of bizarre. It just kind of makes his head and neck look really awkwardly, like, off proportion with the rest of his body, if that makes sense. Like, just tell me, because I feel like Morvia's neck looks too long without the bulky armor. And now, the customary meal before we head out. And now, it's time for, once again... Whoop. 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 Sorry, I just love the fact that you turn into a boat for a split second. Lava field. Seeking to break the barrier in the sky above Helios, the party hunts down a fell dragon shard. I'm looking forward to a lot of things here, mostly trying out Aaliyah's Engage for the first time, Morvia and Vale, and, well, getting to fight a certain someone for the last time. The 4 Hounds. It's taken a long time for us to get a chapter named after them.
Over here! The Fell Dragon Shard is nearby.
Yes, we had the obligatory boat map, now we have the obligatory volcano map.
I'm glad you can tell where they are, Vale. I can't really sense them myself.
Hold on. I see people. It looks like...
Yes. Zephyr and Gris.
Yeah, I love the fact that Aaliyah's tone immediately switches to that when he sees them. That sums up a lot.
They must be guarding the shard. Are you going to be okay?
If I'm going to stop Papa, then I can't avoid this. Sooner or later, I have to face them. Let's go.
All right.
Zephyr, Gris.
My lady, we have been awaiting your arrival. Oh, I see. It's you again. And from the looks of it, the other Lady Vale is no longer with us. She's gone?
That's right.
Wormed your way back in, huh? I never thought you'd come out on top, defect.
Every time you say that, I would say it makes me want to kill you more, but no, it makes me want to kill you and not make you feel pain, just like Morvia said to you back in chapter 21.
Stop calling her that. No one will speak that way about Vale ever again.
Ah, yeah, you tell them, Aaliyah.
You!
Hey, whoa! What's this? Aren't you dead?
I have become an emblem, by the power of all the emblem rings, so I can save this world.
We're here to stop Papa. Both of you, please, step out of the way.
And let you through? I think not. Lord Sombron is opening the portal to other worlds.
At this point, Zephyr's like, darn it, I should have counted on the power of anime to save him.
We're here to protect this shard. Not even our Lady Vale could command us to step aside.
Then you're prepared to die.
You mean to kill us, Lady Vale? Oh, what a sad turn of events. Even after I doted upon you, cared for you as if you were my own.
I'm sorry, I just cannot hear you say that without just openly scoffing at that. I mean, that is the most bullcrap I've ever heard.
It used to make me happy when you said things like that. But I know they're lies. Now, you're just 2 of Papa's followers. Enemies to defeat. That's all.
Why are you singling us out? There were 4 of us.
Mabir was my knight. Marnie too.
I really half expected Gris to say, oh wait, one of them's dead, because that would just be kind of in character for him.
I've been told she died trying to save me.
Oh yeah, you weren't conscious when that happened.
Why did you kill her? I didn't even get to tell her goodbye.
I took Marnie into my family. I looked after her. What did I get in return? Betrayal.
How can you call the 4 Hounds family? Treating them so... viciously.
Because I loved them. When children stray, one must punish them. Or worse, as needed.
That isn't real love.
Oh, is that right? Then maybe I've never known real love.
Well, I mean... yeah, that was easy to figure out.
I know my own heart, and my own thoughts. That's all that's important to me. But we'll never see eye to eye. Not in 1,000 years.
And you've literally had 1,000 years.
I serve Lord Sombra.
In fact, yeah, like, if you look at the data mined ages, Zephyr's data mined age is hilarious.
I've done so for a very long time. Fully committed to anything he needs.
I got no plans to switch sides. Not even if we lose. Got it?
No recruitable Gris for us, I guess.
I see. I suppose this is goodbye then. I'm sorry to say. We've got no other choice but to fight them.
Are you sure?
They're not listening. If only they would leave for their own sakes, but they want to fight. We need to stop Papa. That means I have to put them behind me. It's about time I do.
Yeah, yeah, okay, so, like, there are definitely issues with this chapter. I do like that opening, just the fact that this is all about Vale overcoming her past. It's finally time for her to face down with her abusers. And once again, we have the dramatic preparations theme. So, just for, yeah, demonstration's sake, yes, we do indeed have 14 deployment slots, and I think I've got everybody that I want to, but actually, before I look at the map, Emblem rings. So, Morvia and Vale, I had an idea for Vale's emblem ring, and that would be Celica. Now, I know that I didn't raise her bond with Celica at all, but, I like the idea of Warp, Ragnarok, and Echo on an actual magical dragon.
Celica!
Of course!
Plus, even at Bond 1, you still get not Sephiroth, you still get Seraphim, and that's effective against all the Corrupt on this map. So, I forgot to even really demonstrate Tamara and Marth in those previous paralogs. I wanted to try that, and that means that I have Leaf Spare. Thing is, Anna doesn't really need an emblem to really function. Technically, neither does Morvia, but I guess I can try Leaf on Morvia, maybe? I mean, it gives him a little bit of extra build.
Sir Leaf, leave it to me.
Yeah, it's also kind of interesting, Morvia calls all the male emblems Sir. Most of the other characters call the male ones Lord. Okay, you won't benefit from Dire Thunder at all, but that is bumping up your magic and your speed a bit, and that's really all I want. Everyone else I think I'm fine with in terms of both inventory and emblems, but yes. So, this map kind of expects you to split up and do like a bit of a pincer strike. The thing is, Zephyr and Gris here, generally speaking, I find the party that goes to the left is usually the one that will have to fight the two of them. The party that goes to the right, their job is mainly just to pick up some items here and fight off the rest of the enemies, make sure that Zephyr and Gris don't really get any backup. Speaking of which, I like the way that Fell Dragon shard is animated, but Gris has the S-ranked tome, which is also a brave weapon. So, like, only sages and, like, select few classes, like Ivies, can actually use the S-ranked tome. But yeah, be careful of initiating combat. They may not have emblems, but they still have some kind of dangerous weapons. Now, this is an S-rank smash weapon. And so it's quite powerful, but Zephyr's actual stats aren't all that amazing, especially since she's still restricted to kind of Thoron. Still, Soul Blade can be a little dangerous. It might be worthwhile to look at the actual minimap here, because the map is not as open as it might look. It's actually very, very choke pointy. So, Aaliyah default into that group. That kind of sucks. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to, like, dance for Aaliyah on the first turn, because I really wanted him and Vale to demo their engage form. But obviously I don't want all my magic users to go in one group. Okay, yeah, Anna should definitely go to the side where there's more flyers, as should Alchrist. Okay, let's begin.
We have to defeat Zephyr and Gris. Then, we can break the shard.
What was that?
Those two. It must be their doing. They can attack using the shard. And I'm sure they'll do it again.
So we've got a map gimmick here. Zephyr and Gris will use the shard's power to unleash devastating volcanic bombs. Volcanic bombs will strike every few turns. The bombs destroy boulders and deal heavy damage to allies hit by them, so the map will get less choke pointy as you go through. A warning will indicate where the bombs will fall, so take care to move out of the way. Yeah, thankfully they give you some advance warning. But yeah, this area here is a little bit more open than the early preview of this map would have had you believe, which does kind of suck, admittedly, but yeah. Okay, so, like I said, I'm just trying to think about how I will go about this. Okay, there is some emblem energy. I kind of doubt that I'll need
grant me strength and victory.
Marth's engage later on this map. I just kind of wanted to see just how well Tamara does with the extra attacks, because I think all of them can trigger Sandstorm. In fact, I think she's actually doing a little more normally than she is with Lodestar Rush, which is kind of sad. But I do want to try this.
Fate has
Okay, so this is 8 attacks, a chance of Sandstorm on every one. I think, at least? Because that was either ridiculously unlucky or you can't get Sandstorm on Lodestar Rush. I know that you can trigger Ignis on Lodestar Rush, so you probably should be able to get Sandstorm with it.
Awaiting orders.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a shame if it can't trigger. But okay, well, I can snipe you down with Amber at least. I do really like the way this map looks, although there's really only so many ways to do a lava cave map. It's kind of similar to Radiant Dawn chapter, I think it's 3.8?
Your orders, please.
The Kalku Caves. But yeah, we might actually be seeing that map represented in Engage. So, look forward to that later. I think I have, like, almost the same accuracy with basically everything. I think this is, like, my best accuracy. I do like how you've got this sort of volcanic grass here.
Come on!
That was eye-opening.
Really left us in suspense there, Louis, with that long wind-up. But I think that's, like, generally a kill animation, so probably was always going to kill.
What you got?
And yeah, let's just be a little careful not to provoke everything over here all at once, because I would like my magic uses to deal with them. Haven't really got to use the Smash Dagger yet. It's just like, that's just kind of the thing. You kind of need a bulky dagger user to make good use of a Smash Dagger, and most dagger users are not bulky at all, for obvious reasons. So yeah, that's actually kind of one of the reasons why I'm not like a massive fan of that weapon. It is really, really strong.
Emblem, engage!
But there is another S-rank dagger that we will be obtaining eventually. For all I know, it's probably in this chapter. It probably isn't in this chapter. I mostly know it because of its name, which just makes me think of
Should I have held back?
another role that Yunaka's voice actress played, but I'll go into that later.
Here goes.
I wonder if I should switch Cantor back onto
mysterious.
Dawn. Because I did really like him being able to use Cantor much earlier on. But yeah, wasting my dance entirely to get Aaliyah closer to Vale just because I really want to use Engage Plus with them. But the question is, will Lapis be able to endure an assault from everything?
I'll protect you.
Firstly, yeah, I realized a little while ago that I've forgotten to give Alcrus a longbow. However, you are still gonna get countered, even if I attack from 3 range, but as long as nothing else can get me, should be good. I like those little yellow flowers too. Now, I was thinking that Ching was Luna activating, but no. Because Luna would have been pretty nice. As it stands, though, let's go engage on Lapis.
Let's go together!
And now that we're at Bond 20, well, I believe that we have a reduced engage meter. It's funny how I have 2 Worm Slayers now. The Binding Blade one's a little better, but it also can't be forged. I mean, technically speaking, it can be, you know, what are those called again? The weapon, engage weapon augmentation, I think it's called. Technically, it's got that.
That was a fierce battle.
But yeah, I don't really like relying on that all that much, even though you get a little bit of freebies with that, with DLC. Okay, so I kind of want to physic Lapis a little bit, just to increase the chances of her not dying. Okay, apparently there's a status staff in play here. Because I see an orange AoE. Ah, there we go. And that is freeze. Okay, right. That could be potentially an issue. Unless I freeze the freeze. But I do have a lead with the convoy, so I can
as your steward
probably pull out a restore staff if I really need to. And yes, I have so many treat staffs in my convoy that, like, at this point, everybody is gonna get, like, cakes on forks for their healing prowess. And, oh, that is a silver. In fact, I'm pretty sure if you attack Clan with the Silver Great Axe, you immediately die, because, well, you should immediately die, hopefully. Could actually get Vale's, buff to damage going there.
You got it.
Let's see. You will be able to move in and attack. And honestly, I'm not entirely opposed to you attacking Anna with a ranged weapon. In fact, you know what? I am actually going to preemptively convoy a restore staff just because I feel like I may need it. I mean, I'm sorry, Flame Lance. Because right now, I'm pretty much using Morvia entirely for staff utility. Here we go, awkward outfit Morvia. The Griffin Knight outfit in general, it looks good on Chloe, but it doesn't really look great on many other people, I feel. Okay, what you guys doing? That is... Oh, it's another friend staff. Okay. Well, Louis had Headlong Rush, but he forgot to re-equip it. Mostly because I didn't even notice the free staff up there. That's kind of on me. I love Anna's... Well, I should say I love Radiant Bow's damage against flyers. It's just so fun. Okay, so step 1. I feel like Lapis needs to dodge at least... Okay, she dodged 1, she's totally safe, because I think unless, like, that one reduces her down to 1 HP, which it won't, yeah, she's totally safe. Because of Roy's holdout. Except this will break her if it hits. Except it's a Great Lance, so she gets to attack first, so I don't even really care if she gets broken. And it missed anyway. So, yeah, Lapis did really, really well there. 2,000 individual combats. And there we go. That is going to be Morvia Restore Staff. I may have to... By the way, I hope you die. You die. Good. Yeah, there we go. There's a lot of great weapons we're facing here. Reminds me about how in Warhammer Fantasy, like, great weapon was actually a class of weapon, I think. I think it just gave you the strike last rule.
Retreat isn't an option. I will die if I must to protect the shard.
You? That's crazy talk. If anyone's dying today, I've got first dibs. Besides...
This is kind of like an evil version of Hawkeye and Black Widow in Endgame.
We'll fling these babies at him till nothing's left but bone char.
You know, knowing Gris, I half expected him to mean, like, flinging literal babies at us. Okay, so we have the areas for the lava bombs here, and we do have a conveniently placed channel where we can get through, but first things first.
Emblem, engage!
Freeze Griffin needs to go right now. This is why I like Astrostorm. Well, one of the many reasons why I like Astrostorm, but it's basically a delete one flyer button. That's basically how I used it in the endgame chapters in my first run. And it's like, okay, there's a Wyvern or a Griffin I don't like, delete.
Get stronger until no one can
see that can trigger Luna. So surely I should be able to trigger that on that. By that I mean Sandstorm on Lodestar Rush. But anyway, it's probably just a case of me getting really unlucky last time. I do not want to burn my dance on trivial things, but if I were to dance, I might be able to Rider's Bane you with my, well, I'll Rider's Bane you with my Rider's Bane. So, first attack, additional attack at half damage, that comes after I get attacked, so, okay, there's Sandstorm finally.
My heroic friends.
Oh yeah, wow, that's one of Mart's quotes. I kind of forgot about that one, because he doesn't, I feel like that might be like I don't think Aaliyah uses that, because I don't use Marth on many people besides Aaliyah in the extreme early game. Now that is a Great Knight, so I kind of want magic to deal with that. My only magic, it's only Thoron, isn't it? However, once more, I am Amber, so I just... Amber, why? It's like, Amber, no. Amber, yes. Just casually slicing through completely armored enemies with a steel bow like it's nothing. That's like the kind of damage I'd expect from a mage against a Great Knight, but no, it's a physical attacker because Amber.
Where to?
Oh, wait. Are you frozen? Oh, no, that's impassable. You're just surrounded on all sides by things. Because I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to, like, use Roy's engage attack on both of them and maybe take them both out at once. So, yeah, either one of them needs to die right now. I think this is the only one that, I almost called you Zephyr, Ivy. That would be a horrible thing to call you. Yeah, Ivy and Tamara, I think, are the only two people I have who haven't gone through at least one second seal loop yet. Oh yeah, and I was supposed to restore stuff, you. So let's go ahead and, I still love the fact that there is a restore staff in this game. I like how it shows 0 damage, though. This is really kind of weird, but I almost wonder if this is actually not a terrible idea. Now, here's something interesting about Celica.
It's over. Allow your soul the rest it deserves.
That I probably should have mentioned in her bio, but I forgot to. So, I'm still equipping my dagger, right? When you reach Bond 15, Celica's Ragnarok becomes an equipable weapon. And what that means is that if you use Warp Ragnarok, you end up you are forced to equip Ragnarok, which is kind of heavy. Whereas if you have not unlocked equipable Ragnarok yet, you'll equip whatever weapon you had before you use Warp Ragnarok. So, there are some advantages to keeping Celica's Bond level low. Okay, that is still both Wolf Knights being able to attack, but they're a little held up. How much damage does Anna take from the other one? She doesn't get doubled, so she's... I don't want to speak too soon, but I would say she's probably fine. Yes, Clan can go in the fire, which would normally be a terrible idea, but it's better than getting hit by the lava rocks.
We're pretty tough, you know.
Being slightly on fire is preferable to being immersed in lava. I would say submerged, but you can't really. Like, lava is like solid rock, so you wouldn't really fall, like, sink under lava like water. It's like there's a TV trope, lava is boiling Kool-Aid, when it really isn't. I mean, you know, if this was realistic lava, we'd all be dead just for standing here. I watched, like, documentaries on volcanoes back in high school, and I still think one aspect of volcanoes that is terrifying, but isn't really shown in a lot of media, is, like, the whole sort of the more, what they call a grey eruption. The really ashy eruptions, because those are, like, clouds that travel frighteningly quickly, and they basically will just instantly, like, slaughter anything they touch, and it's horrifying. I'm pretty sure Louis is not going to get one shot, but that was a very clever move from this guy, freezing me to force me to get hit by a gigantic flaming rock of doom. So, well, I mean, you got Gentility on. I hope that applies to map-based damage. It might not. It goes off before the enemy phase. That's interesting. Okay. Actually, no, that it was shown earlier, but... Right, at least it didn't open up any extra avenues of attack. Did Louis only take, like, 2 damage from that? Because that would be hilarious. I think that's what actually happened. Oh, of course you got broken. Okay. And this means these wyverns are lured into me a little earlier than I expected. Yeah, here we go. That could be that could be a problem. But I do have long-range Jean and a Dancer, so I should be able to take out a few of them. In fact, yeah, these areas of lava here are actually solid ground, so if I get...
I smell gold!
Yeah, but the orange floor made me think Anna had more movement range. But no, I have a decent amount of range to all of you. I should be fine here. At first I was thinking, like, wow, she has, like, she's already this high level, and then I was like, oh yeah, Roy. I like how she did that kind of, like, wings out glide there.
I have faith in the goodness of humankind.
You don't often really see that with the flying engages that much. I feel like Lapis in my first playthrough had a lot more speed than this, but anyway. Let's not provoke too many things in. But I think I'm, like, totally fine. I also like that lava flyers only. Which means you can kind of get to Zephyr and Gris pretty quickly. Speaking of Zephyr and Gris, by the way, they do have a lot of movement, and they will come directly towards you, so it's possible this map could be over very quickly if you, I'd say if you're not careful, but you kind of do want to be,
At your service.
You kind of do want this map to be over quickly. Oh, I already used my engage attack. I mean, break defenses plus sandstorm, I guess, maybe. Still not the best, but yeah. Okay. Alright, there's sandstorm. Okay, so yeah, technically she does have a chance of sandstorm in every attack. I've been getting kind of unlucky here, and that's sort of the main issue with Tamara. She's kind of very reliant on luck to do particularly well. And okay, let's just snipe you down, and then I should be able to get somebody on the other wyvern.
That was a cinch.
And by somebody, I mean Amber. Okay, getting up there with Sigurd, and then I suppose you can go in a little further. Yeah, because then Amber can amber this one. Oh, he might miss, but I have Jean as a fallback, I guess, maybe. There we go! Still less damage than Anna's Radiant Bow, but then again, the Radiant Bow has a lot more might. Now... Aha! Yeah, I was hoping I could do something like this. Oh yes, I can actually kill the freeze! Yeah, see, this is why I haven't made Jean a Mage Knight yet, because I do really like sniping with Tomes, with Violet.
Stay focused.
It's very fun. I just feel like, I think it's like because the maps are a little bit more involved in terms of their design in Engage compared to Three Houses. That might be why I find this broadly more useful than I found Thyrsus in Three Houses. It's like there are kind of more opportunities to sort of snipe things from across terrain or do other creative moves like that. So let's get rid of you before you have a chance to Chain Guard. These corrupted were designed to take the heat of the volcano, but they could not take the heat of the Volcanon, which is actually what Volcanon was translated as in some early fan translations. So okay, with Echo, yeah, I get 3-range Echo. I think Clan will be able to finish this, but I just want to use Veil a little bit. And you can split fire with Echo, which is admittedly pretty cool. I just feel like Celica's kind of interesting. Like, to me, Celica is one of the emblems who does suffer the biggest drop-off when you get them back. Because, like...
keep going.
The thing I feel with Celica is that, like, Warp Ragnarok is amazing early on. Its damage really falls off in the endgame. You don't really use Warp Ragnarok for damage now. You use it for picking off weakened enemies and for moving further into the map. Which, I guess, it's kind of cool how, like, the role of it sort of pivots a little bit as you go into the game, but still, it's... I'm 1 off from using Treat on you, which is kind of a shame, so I guess I have to use a Physic use. But at least that puts Ivy closer to this group, the designated side, I suppose. And yeah, I feel like I haven't really been getting all that lucky with my growths on Ivy, but like at the same time, she's done her job without really needing like to have particularly amazing stats. Of course, you know, I'm not really using Ivy to her fullest potential. With things like Lin and Speed Plus and Speed Taker, Ivy does become like a magical offensive monster, basically what Clan has become in this playthrough, except flying. So obviously that's a really great thing. Now, the good news about Engage Plus is that even when Veil's Engage wears off, I'll be able to use Aaliyah's Engage meter to put her into an engaged state. And yep, they're activating the shard again. Generally speaking, it's always the big clumps of rocks that get broken with the meteors. Except one of them is aimed right at Ivy for some reason. I guess Zephyr took... I was about to say took offense to what I was saying, but no, she wouldn't take offense to it. She'd be more like, I see, they are talking about, a mage who is not me. I must punish them for it. I would say, like, I'm the only one who's allowed to be, like, the mummy here, but Ivy doesn't really have that, like, mum energy that Camilla did, so I don't really think that fits. Still, it's like, if it weren't for the fact that, like, I would get absolutely copyright annihilated, I would totally make a Mother Knows Best, AMV for Zephyr, because it would just fit so perfectly. Let's not do that, let's just, I was about to say, like, I should have learned by now, Amber does not know the meaning of chip damage. For Amber, chip damage is like the tiny chip in a castle wall that causes the whole thing to come crashing down. That's what Amber means by chip damage. But, yeah, speaking of, like, AMVs, another, like, of my dream world AMVs that I would love to make is, I don't know, so any of you who've seen the Lego Movie 2, you know that song, about how that one character sings a song that sounds like a villain song, except it's about how they're totally not evil? I would love to make an AMV to that, but with Rhea in Three Houses, because that would just fit so well. Because it's basically how I saw Rhea on my first playthrough, and how a lot of people did. Just trying to think. With the Binding Blad, I think I'll be able to...
I won't waste this chance!
No, you did not waste this chance!
That was a fierce battle.
So, saving yourself losing a little bit of health, I guess, and then you also can canter into range of... Okay. Well, See, here's the thing, like, I'm going to go here because I want to lure you into a position where I can kill you without Zephyr aggroing, because then... Okay, yeah, that's, like I said, this map is more choke pointing than you might think, so that's impossible. That sounds like saying impossible with a very bad American accent now I think about it. So your speed is 30, which I'm pretty sure... No, it just barely doesn't double Ivy. I do distinctly remember that there are flyer reinforcements that come from, like, around here at some point, so I've got to be mindful of that. It's just kind of weird that I'm, like, luring enemies in with Ivy, but it's also kind of makes sense because she's kind of tanky. Like, she's tankier than you might expect. But, okay then. If Morvia goes there, he can canter out of the explosion range. So I'm just doing this. I want to just rescue Vale in to get her closer. Kind of, you know, symbolic that Morvia would be using a rescue staff on Vale. I'm not entirely opposed to you attacking Morvia, though. I say that a lot. I say I'm not entirely opposed to enemies doing certain things, but it does sum up my my views on them sometimes. Because, yeah, Vale can actually be made into a pretty solid combat unit. But it does take a little bit of inheritance work. And there we go. Yeah, it does seem like none of those are designed to open up avenues of attack for enemies. Okay, well, at least we got a dodge there. That's still a little bit too close to Zephyr for comfort. I wonder if aggroing you two actually does aggro Zephyr. Oh, that's Ivy, right, that's fine. Because, like, you sort of turned a little bit, and I was wondering if you somehow had a ranged weapon and attacked Vale, but no. Okay, both going for Zephyr. Yeah, I just feel like it's sort of weird. Swordmasters, I feel like I've heard people talk about, like, the quote-unquote the core fantasy of Dungeons & Dragons classes, and I think that kind of applies to Fire Emblem classes as well. Because to me, the core fantasy, or at least the core design, you know, element of Swordmaster in Fire Emblem is being able to double basically everything and having a very high critical hit rate. And in the games where you don't get that, suddenly Swordmasters become, well, for lack of a better term, aggressively mediocre. And I feel like this is one of those. Like, for example, Swordmasters, they do have good speed, but Hero has, like, almost as much speed and also has Brave Assist and access to more weapon types. Swordmasters have access to S swords, but, like, the S-rank weapons aren't even, like, all that great in Engage, I feel. Just, you've got Engage weapons and also, like, Forging that can quite easily make very strong weapons in this game. Like, S-rank weapons, not hugely significant, so that's not really a big niche. And then, their whole thing of, like, critting a lot, well, they actually don't in this game. They don't really have a very high crit ratio. And, in fact, you know what I just realized? I think one of the biggest issues is that Lyn kind of takes the role that Swordmasters typically do in Fire Emblem. Really? One off. Oh, that's annoying. Is that she basically turns her user into what the quote-unquote core fantasy of the Swordmaster class is meant to be. That's not exactly, that doesn't really bode well in terms of, like, confidence, so I suppose I can actually get, like, Alear in, maybe? Of course, this isn't really going to do much, because Alear already has a full engage meter. This is kind of the thing. If you engage early, you'll probably get more engages. I just really want to make sure that I have Engage Plus before Zephyr and Gris, just because I want to go to town on them with Vale and Alear as a tag team, just because that would make sense and would be cool. Okay, I just realized a severe problem I have right now. I have some archers here, and my only people who are nearby are like, who can fight are flyers. However, I can advance into one of them.
Sorry about that.
No, don't say sorry. We need to have you dead so that we can, you know, I could get that back.
To the death.
No, hopefully not to the death, Ivy. Am I seriously gonna have to burn another rescue staff just to pull Anna in to hopefully kill that Bow Knight? She can't double that bow. 20. Actually, no, wait, 24. You have exactly enough speed to double thanks to your bond rings. That's cool. Okay, so, no, not engage. Let's rescue in Anna. See, here is like the quote-unquote wrong way to use the rescue staff, but it's the way most people use the rescue staff in Fire Emblem. It's extra mobility into the map. Because yes, like I said, I should be able to exactly double you. No, oh, because the Radiant Bow lowers my speed by 1. Okay, well that is a pain. However, that's a longbow. Okay. Although here's something amusing. I can actually block it with Anna. I'm pretty sure if I do this, it can't actually get to any of my flyers. Also, I can do the... Oh, actually, that's actually not bad. I have a chance of a crit here. I didn't get it, but still. Not only is Anna using a physical weapon, she's also using a melee axe. I'm mostly doing this for the Ivy self-healing than for healing Alchrist. But yeah, that is kind of an issue that Sword Masters, I feel, have in this game, is that, like, they have their kind of quote-unquote core fantasy or core purpose robbed from them by, Lyn. Similarly, there's, like, not a whole ton of reason to really use Berserkers in this game unless you want to use the S-rank, axe. And those, unfortunately, are punching, which means that... Actually, though...
Quick change!
I mean... Okay, that's actually kind of fun. Because I want to equip, like, a non... Oh, yeah, I do have Tearfing. I guess I can show off Tearfing. I want to equip a non-dagger so I can get broken. But, hey, I can show this off at least. And yes, I was right. You do get the Tearfing in Fire Emblem 4. When you first get it, it's broken.
Nothing to fear.
But, I mean, Sigurd has no problems getting money in the arena, so yeah. Well, I guess I can get that back. Yeah, right now, the test run of Marth and Tamara has not been the best in the world. But, I mean, it's, I don't know. I guess we can try and use it for, like, a little longer and see how we go. I was kind of liking her with, Leaf, because it gives a good, like, mix of, like, physical and magical weapons. It means she does pretty well with his engage attack. Quadruple hit, that's it. Yes, indeed. Oh. And you are... okay. Well, that's a guaranteed hit, so yeah, there was no way. But it's kind of interesting to see enemy bow knights using swords. It's not often that happens. Wait a second. Did her obvious and nope just combine into obvanope? That's amazing. It's still not as good as, like my personal favorite thing of quotes mashing together is, Morag in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 going, "This is the culmination of my dead body!" Oh yeah, and I regenerate that thanks to Fell Spirit. Now, potentially these can open up greater avenues of attack. Although I think Zephyr can fly over those anyway.
Name my target.
But I want to deal with this other side first because, I definitely need to get that goddess icon. I suppose if I do this...
Prince Diamond! I get it!
Unfortunately, Diamond hasn't really been able to observe your feats for a very long time. I used Diamond in my first run, and you'll probably be seeing Diamond again in the Fell Xenologue DLC. The good thing about that is it has fixed levels for every character, so I'll be able to use a big variety of people, but... and then that... Oh, that's actually the one who has the goddess icon, so really, I could just... in theory, just go here and equip a ranged weapon, and then it just dies.
Emblem, engage!
So let's do that. Yeah, it's probably best to just play it totally safe. Tamara might be able to run into that. It would be amazing if, like, I was able to get Lodestar Rush on the Corrupted Worm, and it actually, like, and she did, like 8 sandstorms. That would be... really good, but I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. No, I probably think I'd rather get Lyn back. It doesn't say Zephyr and Gris are going to move in. Maybe they're not in aggro mode yet.
Allow me.
Is that? Yes, that is actually enough.
I have faith in the goodness of humankind.
Which is not great, because I actually wanted Aaliyah to take that kill, but oh well. And, oh, rare instance of Anna with a longbow actually doing more damage than Anna normally. Well, by Anna normally, I mean Anna with a radiant bow, but that is Anna normally. Just, like, seriously. Okay. Yeah, I checked my Anna in another file, and her dexterity is definitely not even close to being capped right now. But now, Ivy will literally treat herself.
You have saved me.
Yeah, pretty sure Morphia does have boss dialogue against Zephyr and Gris here.
Right away.
So I could get a Leaf Engage attack going. And yeah, Clan actually does need healing. I'll definitely do this.
Thank you.
Staff Mastery is already kind of putting in work. Okay, so there's the Volcano Bombs once again. That will break, yeah. And for once, this actually does open up avenues. That thing actually got hit. And hello, Corrupted Worm. I was almost about to call you a Phantom Worm, but if you were a Phantom Worm, I'd appreciate you more, because then you'd be weak to Dragon Slaying weapons. And, like I said, death. Sudden, instant, and even immediate death, as,
I fight for my friends.
Was it Jafar who said that? I know somebody in a Disney film said, I sentence you to, and then that exact, like, sentence, but I want to say it was Jafar, but I don't know. Yeah, those are the reinforcements I was thinking of. I could have sworn there were more of them, but I might just be thinking of Maddening mode. Typically speaking, on Maddening mode, if you think there are more reinforcements in that mode, there probably are. Well, you did me a favor and came a little closer. And I should be able to deal with you. I am definitely liking Wyvern Lapis, but just like Amber, I fully admit that she's discount Wyvern Kagetsu. I didn't even use Wyvern Kagetsu on Maddening. I used Hero Kagetsu just because I liked chain attacks at the time. I've definitely gone off chain attacks a little bit personally, but like they're still kind of useful.
Emblem engage.
Morphia actually does have some pretty cool engage quotes, but yeah, okay, now he looks better. See, like Morphia needs those big shoulder pads. If I do this though, I have to find some way to kill that Bow Knight.
Whatever it takes.
Again, Morphia has cool engage quotes. Actually, with that extra speed Anna gained, I think she should be able to double with the Radiant Bow now. Let's see, though. I probably should go for the kill with Veil here, just because she kind of... I mean, I suppose she doesn't really need it. Her internal level is quite high.
I hope I've done well.
But as we're approaching the end of this map, I guess I can say one thing that I've been kind of thinking lately, and it is I feel kind of bad to say this because yeah, it's definitely a showing of my like some of my character biases, but this is just my opinion. So if you like this other character, don't take this the wrong way, but I've realized that I personally feel that Veil is a better portrayal of an abuse victim in fiction than Bernadetta. Like, I just kind of think, like, I found that out when I was listening to, just for making the bio to find, like, a good quote for Veil. I was listening to a lot of Veil's, like battle dialogue, and some of the things she says, so some of the lines that she says, I just feel like, oh wow, that actually is pretty, does kind of get that experience a little bit. I mean, you know, I don't really have the right to speak for abuse victims because I haven't been one. I mean, the closest I've been is just bullied in high school. Like, that's not really the same thing at all, but, yeah, don't even need Low Star Rush here. Don't even need Sandstorm here. Of course, there are issues that people have, and
I won't let you do what you want.
We will be seeing those issues quite soon. Because the reason why this chapter is controversial is not because of what's going on right now, like the gameplay aspect of it. Of course, that's kind of like the majority of Engage, that everything that's controversial is the story aspects, not the gameplay, but like, chapter-wise, this is not really my favorite chapter in this game. I don't really think it's that amazing. It's alright, but it's not, like, the best chapter out there. I'm just kind of tempted because if she gets like even one, I need to do this. If she doesn't get any sandstorms here, we have definitive proof that we can't sandstorm on Lodestar Rush. Okay, no, she did get, yeah, so she can sandstorm. Are you serious? One sandstorm was not enough. I was hoping it would be, but yeah, I'm liking the. I
guess I'm the one who needed saving.
I am liking the divine speed aspect of Tamara with Marth. Like, that's working out quite well. Lodestar Rush, it doesn't really boost its damage that much, even with, but yeah, it doesn't really boost its damage, like, enough to really be worth it. But okay, yeah, let's just, well, I mean, we've already proved Amber is like the slayer of corrupted worms. Which, Diamant did serve that purpose in my first playthrough. One downside of me not using Diamant in this run is that, like, he has a really cool crit animation. Like, he drags his axe along the ground and leaves, like, an earthquake scar. It's very cool looking.
Here I come.
Just like most of the lords have really cool, well, not lords, like, you know, the royals. They all have pretty good crit animations. I almost called her Zephyr again. Ivy's. Ivy's is very, very good too. There's a freeze staff up here, but is freeze going to be a problem at all with, especially since neither of you can hurt Louis, but like with so few enemies in this general region, it's not really going to be much of a problem. Did Erica just go here there for no real reason? I think that's what happened. Okay, no, that's fine. Except you don't even double, for some reason. Although, actually, Griffin Knights are quite fast, so it's kind of to be expected. And you also don't double, but she's fine. Yeah, Sigurd actually patches up Yunaka's defense a little bit, too. Yep, it's going off again. Yeah, I think I should stop wasting time and just aggro them now. But I am actually thinking that I'm going to need to burn my engage attack just to... Yeah, this is kind of one of those maps where they want you to go for the objective and not just mess around with the enemies here. I may need to use Astra Storm. I was going to use Astra Storm to lure them in, but I might need to use Astra Storm on one of the Wyverns. Oh, if I engage with Lucina, I can use the bow, but I really want to use the Engage Plus. Okay. Yeah, let's go for the further one with Astra Storm.
By my hand, a good wind.
And now... Please tell me that you're still in range. It would be really sad if I went to all this effort and then Anna wasn't even in range. No, with that close, Anna is definitely in range. And, oh, that's both of them going on Morvia. And that's Gris with his Supernova. I didn't even mean for that to be like a Parlon Supernova, but...
I refuse to cry.
Oh, that actually could be really, really bad. Maybe that was not a great idea. Because, like, I highly suspect that if she goes there, she is dead. I love that damage forecast, though. Double 74.
Tough, you know.
Double 74. But yeah, I think even if she is healed, the combination of Nova with, Zephyr will probably kill Anna, so I think I need to actually Rescue Staff her. Yeah, and here's the other way that people tend to use Rescue Staff, is to trade them around. So that you can get multiple warps in a single turn. I do like that I'm actually getting to, like, seriously use these in a run, though. Oh. I forget how much might those have. But if that kills Anna, that would be a really embarrassing way to lose someone. Is there any better... Yeah. This should put you to the left of Ivy. I'm pretty sure Warp prioritizes tiles that are not occupied by... No, clearly it doesn't. That's a piece of crap, honestly. Maybe I just have to not, like, kill that Wyvern this turn. If I lure Ivy with... If I lure Zephyr with Thunder, then I should be able to get her into a good position. Yeah, and that sort of blocks off Veil, at least. Okay, right. You are surrounded by armed, people, let's just say. Armed people. Can't really use the full quote there, but it involves what is often considered a swear in the US, but it's actually totally mild in Australia. It begins with D. Okay, like, my logic here is that if any of these Sandstorm, I get double experience. 1, 2, 3, and Sandstorm. There we go.
My heroic friends.
It's just kind of an interesting quote, but it kind of goes into how some people don't really like how Marth's character is portrayed in this game. He's just kind of treated more generically, as more of a generic hero than he is kind of in Shadow Dragon, but that's something I'll cover when we get to Marth's Paralogue. Amber is starting to have a very minor skill issue. Literal skill issue. In earlier games, at least. It's called Dex in this game.
I fight for my friends.
I believe this doesn't take into account the potential of Tamara.
Leave it to me.
She didn't attack, okay. Yeah, she could have done a dual assist on that. You know what? 200 hit rate, because you can't damage me anyway.
Yes, fine work.
Don't think I often hear him say that. That's also a weird level up, but any level up for Louis that contains both strength and defense, I'm fine with. As I said ages ago, Louis' stats are very min-maxed. He kind of has all the stats that he really needs, and everything he doesn't need, he has basically nothing in. I would appreciate if his strength rope was a little better, though, now that I've actually used him a lot. And hi there.
Will it be me or you who dies here, I wonder?
I do kind of wish that these two got a different variation of this song, because this is their final battle. It would have been cool if they got like a unique variation on the 4 Hounds theme. And here comes Gris. And here come reinforcements. Okay. So here's where we potentially run into issues. At the very least, I have to get Vale's boss dialogue with Zephyr, because it is fantastic. Like, Vale's boss dialogue with Zephyr is one of the best boss conversations in all of Fire Emblem.
So, Lady Vale, where's my reward?
Reward?
The real Lady Vale promised me all the agony my heart could want. I was really looking forward to it. The cold, the severity, but in the end, nothing. Not even a scratch.
That Vale? She's gone now.
Yeah, 'cause you killed her, so you can't be all bad. Now, you tell me, how are you gonna do it? Kill me, I mean.
I'll never forgive you, Gris. But I never hated you, at least from the start. I think I understand why you were with the Hounds. Why you're you, but I'm not cool. None of this will be a reward.
Allow me.
There is actually a little bit of implied backstory on Gris that you get from some of Morvia's supports. It's, I think, stated that Gris was part of a Felldragon flagellant cult, which explains a lot about him. Okay, so if I freeze Zephyr and Gris, that should make things a lot easier for me. So let's go for an attack here with, yeah, that. Because then she won't even be able to use her Smash Sword if I'm not in melee with her. And nope. It's just those Wolf Knights that are going to be a problem. I don't think I'll be able to take both the bosses down this turn, but I will probably be able to do it next turn. And yeah, you can even counter away too, but it's the Wolf Knights that I'm more worried about. Also you, but I mean, I can easily get rid of you with Anna. It's kind of a thing of like, though, there's no way I can get Anna's chain attacks on... I suppose I don't really need Anna's chain attacks to be on Gris until later. Because obviously I don't want her in range of the Wolf Knights.
Allow me.
Come again.
Anna sure allowed that thing's soul the rest it deserves.
Here until the end.
And here we go.
Emblem Eternal.
For the first time, Let's not Bond Blast, though. I'm going to save that for a bit. But yeah, this is what Alear in his Emblem form looks like.
That's a neat trick, getting killed but not dying. Just what I'd expect from the Fell Dragon's kid.
Gris. All else aside, I'm grateful you told me the truth. While I can't forgive what you've done, I do want to ask you one thing. Why are you doing all of this? Is Zephyr making you?
What kind of question is that? I'm here because I wanna be, okay?
I see.
How sweet. Worried about little old Gris. That's an insult to me and Zephyr. I won't forgive that ever. Ever! I'm gonna hurt you every which way, and then kill you once and for all!
Wow, that was almost like Dimitri level voice acting there. I don't think like Gris's voice actor has been in a lot of games, but he's really, really good. Like, Gris is generally one of the most popular of the 4 Hounds, probably because he's like maybe the most consistent of them. Okay, you can't reach Vale, I don't think. That's good. Like, his character is generally, like, it's pretty easy to understand what kind of person Gris is, and yeah, again, his character is very consistent, and I think that's what people appreciate.
Live as a hound, die as a hound.
And also just the fact, there's not really a whole ton of forced sympathy for Gris either. And there are implications of how he got this way, but nobody really forgives him or really shows any pity towards him, and that's kind of how he'd want it. Okay, now I probably do need to get Morvia in on somebody. The question is, will Morvia die to... No, he doesn't actually take much damage from Nova. Well, of course, because his you know, resistance is really, really good. I think I should probably go for a health bar break.
You're going to kill me, Morvia? After everything?
At one time, I would not have imagined it myself. I believed our path to be just, that we were family.
Family. I'm surprised to hear that from you.
I am, I admit, solitary by nature. But I felt a true bond with the Hounds. I let our family distract me too long. Until you took Marnie from us.
You know, Marnie, you can turn your back on all this. You can leave.
I left you, Zephyr, after you made a wreckage of the Hounds. I don't have any last sentiments. You see, I learned something from you in the end.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good boss dialogue here.
I have looked forward to this day.
That quote fits here, I will say. Oh wow, not even a post-battle line there. Yeah, like again, I think I've mentioned this before, but some battles in this game are designated as quote-unquote serious mode, so people won't say their, like, their victory quotes or anything. Just to add insult to injury, I'm really tempted to just set them on fire at the same time. Unfortunately, this is kind of giving Risk what he wants, but still.
There's my opening.
I suppose this is going to satisfy a lot of people, though. Immobilizing these two and also setting them on fire. It's funny how it said Fell Protection there. I thought that was like a skill of Zephyr's triggering, but no, it's actually Veil. And then you can dart back. Yeah, let's just go ahead and use a Great Sacrifice. Just to make sure that everybody should hopefully be okay. And you're just going to go, yeah, why not? Why the heck not? Let's just go over the lava and put ourselves down to 1 HP.
By any means necessary.
Just to make absolutely sure that, like, Zephyr's Thoron is not in range of her. Okay, that's a lot of Great Sacrifice. That's probably going to give you only, like, 20 experience. I think it is kind of based on level. So, okay, presuming that, like, nothing horrible happens. Oh yeah, Spell Harmony counts because of Zephyr. Nova does look pretty cool. Oh, okay.
Exquisite.
That actually is fine.
Oh yeah. Mortal wounds. The really good ones. Can't say no to any of that.
Well, unfortunately for you, the balanced data slate from Warhammer 40k nerfed Mortal Wounds. Oh wait, you're not talking about that. But yeah, no victory line at all. Yeah, I think I got all the boss, well, apart from Morvia versus Gris.
You come to get revenge? Or were you hoping the Hounds would take you back? We were a family, Morvia. That makes us like brothers. No one would blame you for missing us.
I am here to strike you down. I have nothing more to say.
Geez, a stiff till the end. Guess there's no point in holding back the killing then.
My dear, sweet divine dragon. We've been through a lot together, haven't we?
Yes, we have. See, one thing that I do actually kind of like about this fight is there is almost a bittersweet sense to it, but less in the sense that you really sympathize with these two, and more in the sense of, like, that TV trope antagonist in mourning, but in reverse. I just kind of feel like after the 4 Hounds are finally gone for good, things are just gonna feel a little empty. It's like, it's kind of fun to have a good nemesis.
Zephyr, you must have known who I was 1,000 years ago.
Yes, I believe we met, but the details are hazy. Lord Sombron had so many children, you see. A bug would have had more luck getting my attention.
Oh? Am I that forgettable?
Oh, not at all. You're the divine dragon now. But in due time, you'll be me. One tends to lose count of the lives that pass by. You'll understand one day.
Ah, yeah, interesting. I think she is like over 2,000 years old according to the data mine, so kind of, you know, a lot of dragons who get to this age tends to lose track of all of the people they've met over their lives.
I will never be like you.
Well, it barely matters anyway. You aren't leaving this place. You're going to die right now.
Are you really sure you should be saying that right now? Gris is kind of done. Okay, I am actually going to skip the enemy phase this time. And yeah, Fell Shard, it's all going to be over after this. I don't need to worry about that. Oh yes, point that right at my head, won't you? That's totally okay. Because, yeah, you are going down right now. So, okay, I have Bond Blast, which will do a crap ton of damage and destroy her. So I need to break her first health bar.
You got it.
And just for lols, I'm going to do it with Anna. And then I can put Vale next to her, next to Alear, and then do Bond Blast. And then this is over. Because I really hope that I get the boss dialogue for that.
Ah, Lady Vale. You mean to kill me, do you?
That's right.
Those eyes, so like your father's. You really resemble him, you know. Far more than the other Lady Vale did.
You don't see me, do you, Zephyr? You see me and you think of Papa. Or that other me. When we met, you seemed so kind. I really liked you.
Really? I hated you. No, that's not right. I was indifferent to you. Lord Sombron's puppet, that's all you were. A thing to be used and cast off. Yet somehow, I knew this day would come.
Here it comes. Potentially best line in the game.
The day I would kill you? No wonder you didn't like me.
Well, you finally have my undivided attention.
Sleep now!
Engage blast!
Quite strong.
Lord Sombron. No.
We did it! We broke the Fell Dragon Shard!
And somehow Amber still got MVP for that. Vale deserves 1,000 MVP awards just for that line alone.
I suppose you've won. I'm sorry, Lord Sombron.
The battle is over. We should go.
Goodbye, Zephyr. Goodbye, Gris. I'm glad I could say that properly this time.
Oh, Gris can't hear anything now. But don't worry. I'll tell him on the other side.
Thank you.
One last thing. Before I go. You won't be able to break the next Fell Dragon shard.
So, here is the point that I dislike the most about this chapter.
What do you mean?
Well, it used to be in the mountains. Gradlon rose so mightily. But those mountains crumbled. That spot is now under a lake. Reaching the shard would be difficult. And then destroying it? Surely impossible.
It's at the bottom of a lake?
I did sense that one of them was weaker and farther away than the others. But I never imagined this.
What do we do now?
Simple. You raise the mountains. Or drain the lake.
Or find an emblem that lets you breathe underwater.
Please, take this. An enchanted crystal that will bring that location in reach.
So, let's just sum up what's happening. Zephyr just introduced a plot problem that was not alluded to before and is only an issue, like, right now. And then, she is giving us something that will solve that plot problem in the very same scene that it was introduced. Why I dislike this is, if you're going to solve a problem in the same scene it's introduced, you might as well not have introduced that problem to begin with.
How did you get this?
I am a mage dragon. My kind are capable of making magical objects.
Though I will say, I have always wanted them to bring mage dragons back. I thought that was one of the coolest aspects of Arcanea lore, and it was never really elaborated on much.
Small charms and such, you understand. But magic of this magnitude? That drains our years.
Kinda like Lumera, I suppose.
To craft an object that would alter the very terrain around you. I've paid a steep price.
Zephyr, you don't mean...
Yes. It's making this crystal that has led to my end. The magic, in exchange for my life.
And now you don't really have the satisfaction of you bringing out her end yourself.
You two were quite fortunate, you know. Of all the mage dragons that ever were, only I am powerful enough to create this.
And now they're straight up saying that this plot could only be resolved by this contrivance.
I learned at the youngest age that I had vast powers that were difficult to control.
And backstory on Zephyr that we never had any hints at before, coming literally as she's dying.
I would control them in time, but not before my mother, father, and many others died. Oh, memories. Back to the here and now. My very powerful gift.
Why are you helping us now?
And here's the other thing I dislike about this scene.
I'm not sure of that myself.
Why are you the only person who can solve this one contrived plot point solving it for us? Not even she knows!
Perhaps here at the close, I'm feeling that it's just the right thing to do.
Reed, if I didn't do this, the plot would end here.
The crystal's enchantment will last for only a few hours. So hurry along. The shard awaits. Do be careful, Lady Vale. I'll pray for your good fortune in the battles ahead.
And suddenly she's invested in Vale winning the battles ahead for no reason.
You could have done this at any time. Any time at all. But now you're dying. We could have made things right. If only you'd told us any of this before we fought, maybe we could have forgiven.
Why now, indeed? Because it is the end.
Huh?
I can be kind, just this once. Because it's too late for me to make things right.
Although I suppose this does kind of justify it. She's sort of like, yeah, I'm dying, I may as well do this.
Had I done any of this earlier, would you have really forgiven me? We, allies. Nonsense. I had no intention of dying today. But then, all this happened. So, I made you a crystal. I doubt any of you could swim to that shard. It's a long, long way down.
Zephyr, I don't understand you.
And this line sums up the plot of this scene.
Some advice, dear? Leave those you cannot understand behind. Forget them entirely.
That also sums up this scene.
It's just unsettling to let someone like that linger in your thoughts as you grow older.
Once we defeat Papa and peace arrives, I won't forget you, Zephyr. No matter how many hundreds or thousands of years may pass.
Probably for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, child. No more of that, please. Hurry off to that shard. Unless you prefer to stay and watch me die. Would that make you feel safer?
Let's go, Vale.
Yes, go. We can at least end things with a clean slate. Goodbye, Lady Vale. And to you, our new emblem.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Zephyr. Thank you for everything.
You are too kind, child.
And I'm sure some people would hate the fact that she does that. So I'm going to do something a little differently to what I normally do here. I normally give my thoughts on the chapter itself during, like, the post-battle exploration. What I'm going to do here is, I am actually going to leave here, because there is another cutscene that happens, and then I'll give my thoughts on the chapter. Because I can't really give my full thoughts until this happens.
Hell of a time to switch sides.
My word. I thought they had killed you.
What? You think I'm gonna kick off in the middle of this once-in-a-lifetime pain? This is the good stuff. I gotta savor every last drop. Would have been real ticked off if they put me out of my misery, not gonna lie.
That's really the reason you were playing dead? Even at the end, you're an odd man.
How come? You told him about the shard.
Like I said, I'm just trying to wipe the slate clean.
Cut that out. I want to know the truth, okay?
To get back at Lord Sombron, I guess. Why should I die in the dust while he gets everything he wanted just like that? Does that seem fair? Now that they know about the shard, they're sure to break it. And he'll know I've met my end, that he's lost me forever.
You gotta really love somebody, if you want to hurt him that badly.
I wasn't in love with Lord Sombron. I just wanted him to give me a child of my own. That was the dream I clung to through all of the long years. A family, the love of a daughter or a son. When I called the Hounds my family, I meant every word of it. What we had was something very rare indeed. You, me, Marnie, Mavir, working together to protect Lord Sombron and Lady Vale.
But it's too late for all that now. If you were gonna turn on Sombron, why'd you wait? If you'd done it sooner, maybe we'd still be together. And maybe I wouldn't find myself bleeding out at the moment.
I have to wonder if you'd have been happier on the other side.
You really think I would just abandon you? Not a chance in hell. The 4 Hounds. A family. I always did like the sound of that. I can't even remember what my parents' faces looked like. You're the closest thing I had to a mother. Ever since the first day you met me, poor little twisted disciple that I was, hoping that my suffering would be good enough in the eyes of Lord Sombron. You were like a mom to me, and a big sister. Honestly, even a god. The most important person in the world to me.
Gris, I don't like this joke.
It's no joke. I'd follow you anywhere, dummy.
You're right. How could I have been so blind? The one thing I always wanted, staring me in the face all the while. If only I had realized. But no, it's too late to think of that. I hope you forgive me. We are a family. I thank you, Gris.
Zephyr. You drifted off already. Guess I will, too. No reason to stick around without her. Nothing hurts me anymore.
And now I can talk. So on the positive side, two things. One, I like how they clarify that Zephyr's motivation for giving you the shard there was not suddenly getting unconscious. It was just, oh no, I just want to spite Sombron. Two, in theory, I actually appreciate the idea of, like, long-time, like, villains or antagonists getting, like, fully developed dying scenes like that. Some people think that one is, like a little bit overwrought or too long. I guess I can see that, but, like, I'd honestly really kind of appreciate it if Fire Emblem did that more. But I mean, this is kind of me going back to being my, like, literary classes and being a bit of a Shakespeare nerd, when characters would get dramatic death scenes like that all the time and give, like, final speeches. Like, it's kind of better than just them just getting one death quote and then dying. But, okay, the negatives. So, a lot of people don't like that scene because they think that it is supposed to imply that you're meant to see Zephyr as sympathetic all along. Now, here's my hot take. I don't think that's true. I actually had this exact same thing happen to me with two other games that had villain deaths that were controversial for this exact reason. Kingdom Hearts 3 and the vanilla version of Persona 5. They did something very similar, and a lot of fans hated that because they were like, are we supposed to think this villain was sympathetic all along because they got a sad death scene? And that's, you know, that's stupid because they've done so many horrible things. But in my head, I never viewed it that way. I don't think that a sad death scene implies that you are meant to think of the villain as sympathetic. Now, if Zephyr full-on reformed and joined your army, that I would be mad at. And in a sense, almost that, like, death that she gets there, I almost interpret it as kind of one final spiteful moment to her. The fact that she gets to, like, die knowing that, like, everything she did was pointless because Gris saw her as family all along, and if she'd, you know, not been a colossal abusive monster, then maybe she actually would have had the family that she always wanted. Yeah, it's kind of something that I feel like. I don't think every villain, even, like, the most hateable ones, needs to die in horrible agony. I'm not really that vindictive. And I hate to bring up, like, examples from other works to say, like, oh, I don't think this is that bad because I've seen worse, but I do have to bring up something. Because this is the thing with, like, how a lot of people, I think, see that scene is how I view Travant in Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War. According to Kaga's developer notes, you're expected to see Travant as a tragic, well-intentioned extremist who was just trying to save his country from poverty. It does not come across that way in Genealogy in the slightest. In Genealogy, that guy is a monster, and he gets no sympathy at any point from, like, any character. That I have an issue with, where the game is outright telling you you're meant to sympathize with this person, and then their writing doesn't really do that. Here, I don't view it that way. It's more a case of, yeah, they got a kinda sad send-off. But that doesn't mean that everything they did is meant to be justified. If anything, the only thing I dislike about that is Vale apologizing, but come to think of it, there's a character in Ace Attorney Investigations 2 who also apologizes to their abusive parent after satisfyingly defeating them, so maybe it's just a cultural thing, I don't know. But with that, we can finally end this chapter and this topic. Or can we? When you think they're done with the 4 Hounds, let's just say, I'll have words about the next chapter. But that'll be for next time, so see you all then.